Rebecca Reimers here from the Bridger-Teton Avalanche Center. This tutorial will explain how to best use the Avalanche Events feature of our website, jhavalanche.org. Recent avalanche activity is one of the best indicators of the current avalanche hazard. The characteristics of those events and the attributes of the terrain where they occur are essential components of avalanche hazard assessment efforts. Avalanche characteristics include avalanche type, size, trigger type, and event time. Terrain attributes include geographic location, aspect, elevation, slope angle, and terrain type. The avalanche events section of our website is comprised of 3 elements that help convey and display this important information. The 3 elements are the avalanche event map, event details or table view, and radial plot. Although some of the features that will be reviewed here can be viewed on a smartphone, many are only fully functional on a lap or desktop computer. The Events to View window on the left side of the map can be used to make customized selections. A pull-down menu in that window is defaulted to display only avalanche events that have been reported from the backcountry. A pull-down menu in that window allows the viewer to make selections and will also display avalanche events for the date range selected that have only occurred in ski areas, only occurred in the backcountry, or all avalanches reported. You must click on the Select Event button to activate your new selection. There's another pull-down menu in the Events to View window that allows the presenter to make the map display avalanche events from the past week, the past 2 weeks, and the past month. Again, you must click on the Select Events if you choose this option to change the date range of the avalanche events. Another date range option is to manually enter start and end dates for the period of interest. Enter those dates and then click on the Select Events button and the map will populate with the avalanche events reported to the center during the date range chosen. If you change the date range in the Events to View window, that date range change will be applied to the Map View and Table View display option. To hide the Events to View field, click on the tab in the upper right-hand corner of the Events to View window. Re-clicking that icon will reopen that window. The Radial Plot tool has its own date range selection options. The number of avalanche events for your selected date range is shown on the top right of the map field. The number of avalanche events that can be mapped is also stated. Some events are reported to the center without a location. Therefore, these events are not displayed on the map, but are listed in the table view. There are a number of options to view your map. There are 2 base map background options. Use the satellite and terrain buttons in the top left portion of the map field to click back and forth from the defaulted terrain background map to the optional satellite background. The icon in the bottom left corner of the map expands the map to full screen. Click again to collapse the map. Use the plus and minus buttons in the bottom right-hand corner of the map field to zoom the map in and out. The plus-minus buttons in the base map background options can be used in the default and the full screen views. You will notice that the default settings of the map view is centered over our forecast region. There is a Jump To Area pull-down menu above the map. The 3 options in that menu recenter the map field over 3 different forecast zones: Teton, Togety, or Grays River area. To manually navigate to different areas, place your cursor on the map field and click. A hand icon will appear. If you hold that click, you can use that hand icon to pan the map view in any direction. You can find a View Map Legend button above the right-hand corner of the map. If you click on this button and scroll down, you will see a key to the map symbols, map instructions, and a key to the abbreviations used for avalanche types, avalanche size, and avalanche triggers. To the right of the map field, there are 7 click boxes that allow the viewer to turn layer section options on and off. The top one turns display markers for avalanche locations on and off. The second one turns weather station markers on and off. The third turns snow pit profile marker locations on and off. The fourth layer enables the viewer to only display avalanche fatality markers. To use this layer, the date range selected must include the date of the fatality, and the avalanche event marker layers must also be on. Next is the reporting zone layer. It's best to use the reporting zone layer with the full screen options and in conjunction with the zoom in and out buttons. More on the use of the reporting zones will be provided in the table view portion of this tutorial. 2 other layers are provided. The winter closure layer displays area where human travel is prohibited during the winter season due to critical game habitat. The non-motorized travel layer displays areas where motorized travel is prohibited. These areas include wilderness designated areas in the national forest and national parks. It's anticipated that another layer depicting the voluntary closure areas recently developed to protect bighorn sheep will be added. Map marker icons are displayed to the right of the click boxes that turn the layers discussed on and off. The red or orange exclamation markers depict the location of avalanche events included in the selected date range. If you click on the marker, a window will appear that lists information about that avalanche, including the date, path name, elevation, aspect, avalanche type, trigger, size, and depth. Links are also provided for more information, media postings, and to zoom into that map location. If the marker is red, the location of that avalanche event is depicted on the map by a single point that is typically located in the avalanche starting zone. If the marker is orange, that avalanche event is mapped as a polygon. You can zoom on the event to see this. The aspect and elevation data are typically from a single point in the avalanche starting zone. If the marker is in the shape of a person in yellow, that avalanche was the location of a fatality. There are markers for specialized weather stations that are operated by the Avalanche Center and its partners at the Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, Grand Targhee Resort, and on Snow King Mountain. If you click on these markers, a window will appear that provides the type of station, wind or snow, the elevation, and links to station data, data display graphs, station photographs, and for some stations, webcams. There are also markers that depict the location of snow pit profiles that are mapped for the date range selected. If you click on one of these icons, a window will appear that displays the location name, date, and time of the profile, elevation, and aspect of the profile location, problem layer information, and links to media for that pit if available. Next, we'll look at the event details or table view. To switch to the event details of the avalanche events for the date range selected, click on the Event Details button in the Navigator bar. You will see avalanche event details in a table view. You will be viewing the date range and areas selected on the map view or the default settings previously discussed. To change these options, return to the map view. The default settings for the table view list the most 10 recent avalanche events in chronological order. If you scroll down to the bottom, a statement in the bottom left portion of the screen will tell you how many of these events are visible in the default table view. You will see up to 10, and how many total events are listed. Click Next to see the following page of events if there are more to view. A pull-down menu in the upper top left corner of the view table allows the viewer to show 10, 25, 50, or 100 of the avalanche events in chronological order for the date range selected. Information provided in the table view for each avalanche event listed includes the date and time of the avalanche, the name or location of the avalanche path, avalanche type and trigger, links to photographs and videos, relative and destructive scale size, crown depth in inches, starting zone aspect, elevation and slope angle, the reporting zone, and notes regarding the event. You can sort the listed avalanche events. The table view option is defaulted to list avalanche events in chronological order. Up and down triangle arrows sort avalanche events by that attribute. For example, if you would like the list of avalanche events to be listed by starting zone or elevation highest to lowest, click on those triangles. You can do the same for any of the other table view column headers. You can view an avalanche event listed in the table in its corresponding location on the map. To do so, click on the row of the avalanche event of interest in the table view listing and then click on the map selected row button in the upper left corner. If you then click on the map view, the selected event will be the only marker displayed on the map. We'll look at the search field, which is located in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. This option has many uses. By typing in an avalanche path name or reporting zone number, it can be used to conduct simple or more elaborate avalanche event searches. Perhaps a friend told you that an avalanche recently occurred in a specific path and there are many recent avalanche events listed. Let's just say that event occurred on Mount Glory on Teton Pass or perhaps Two Oceans Peak on Togety Pass. To find that event, simply type Glory or Ocean into the search field. If your date range selection is for a period with lots of avalanche activity, your search may show that there were multiple avalanche events for the search. This tool can also be used to conduct extensive and historical database inquiries. For instance, you can select a date range that includes a whole season, a specific storm cycle in any season, or multiple seasons, like from October 1st, 1970 to present. You could then use this tool to search your database for all reported avalanches for a specific location like Glory or a specific reporting zone. If you selected a date range that includes many seasons and did a search for the word Glory, you would then get a list of all events reported that include Glory in its location name. That list could then be sorted by size, aspect, elevation, etc., using the sorting tool option discussed earlier. Searching the database for long time periods requires a fast internet connection, an updated browser, and patience, as these searches involved a vast amount of records. Next, we'll take a look at the radial plot feature. The radial plot option displays the avalanche events for the time range selected on an aspect elevation diagram. Time range options include a jump to year pull-down menu that selects a particular season and a slider bar date range option for each of those seasons. The default setting is for the last 7 days of the current season. There is also radial buttons that can be used to select the last 24, 48, or 72 hours, the last week, or the last month. Avalanche events are displayed by starting zone aspect and elevation. A color code is used to designate avalanche crown depths in inches. The relative size of an avalanche is designated by the size of the circle marking the avalanche events. The relative avalanche size scale is used because many of the avalanche events in our historic database predate the existence of the destructive avalanche scale. On-off buttons located to the right side of the radial plot enables a viewer to sort plotted events by zone, trigger type, avalanche type, and setting. A table view list of the avalanche events plotted is located beneath the radial diagram. Reported avalanche events that don't include aspect, elevation, crown depth, and relative size do not get displayed on the radial plot tool. Those events can be found in the table view option. It's important to remember that not all avalanches are observed or reported. Most avalanches happen during periods of limited visibility and are not observed. Many avalanches occur in areas that are not frequented by humans and so are not reported. Therefore, the avalanche events listed on the BTAC website should always be perceived as a partial list of what has occurred. Knowledge of recent avalanche events is very useful, but it's critical to understand the limitations of that knowledge. Each avalanche event submitted to the Avalanche Center is reviewed by an Avalanche Center specialist before it's posted to the website. For this reason, there will likely be a short delay between submittal and posting on our website. That review process could include edits to your observations and the potential for the reviewer to add comments. Your observations are invaluable to the Center and to the public. We thank you for your timely and accurate observations. Please keep them coming.